The TED, Tomatis Evaluation Database, is a client management tool. It enables you to establish a complete file for each of the clients, starting from the very first contact with them. Its purpose is to help you give your full attention to the client before and during the anamnesis or the first interview. Two kinds of questionnaires are available. On the one hand, we have the online tests, specially designed for the children. They are sent to the child's parents or tutors through the TED before the first interview and need to be filled in beforehand. You can review these tests before meeting your client. On the other hand, we have the medical history questionnaire available in child and adult versions. This is an interview guide, a series of questions to directly ask your client or his or her parents during the first interview. First connection and creation of a new client. To log into your TED account, you have two alternatives. If you have not accessed your profile before, you will receive from TDSA an automatic email containing a link so you can access the TED. Please note that this link is only valid for a single click. By clicking on this link, you will automatically be logged in and will reach this page. You must change your password. Type it twice and then click on Update before being able to use the TED. If you already accessed the TED before, or if you have wrongly clicked on the link in the email without changing your password, type the following URL into your internet browser: http://ted.tomatis.com. Enter your email address and your password below. The default password is TomatisTED, capital T O M A T I S, capital T, capital E, and capital D, the whole without any space. During your first contact and before the first consultation meeting with the parents or tutor of a child, do not forget to get their email addresses so as to send them the online test through the TED. These tests are to be done by the child's parents or tutors before the first consultation. To create a client, log into your TED and click on the Client tab in the menu at the left of the page. Then, click on the Create button in the top right-hand corner. You are now in the Client Information section. Input your client's data and do not forget to save. If your client is a child, a button Create User will appear in green at the top of the next page. Do not forget to click on this button to create an online user account. As the online tests to be done at home by the client are not available for adult clients, they therefore do not need to connect to the TED and will not receive any email. User files will only be created for child clients. Their parents will receive an email giving them access to their profile on the TED. If after creating your child client you didn't click on the green Create User button, please go to the Clients tab and then click on Edit next to your client's name. At the top of his or her profile, click on the green button Create User. Insert the email address of your client's legal representative here. Then, insert twice the password you wish to assign to your client. It is the password your client's parents will use to log in to the TED. It should then be different from your own password. After having clicked on Create, your client's parents will receive by email a link to access the online tests. Make sure to send your client's parents the password. The link is only valid for one click. If the client clicks on the link a second time, an error message will be displayed. If your clients can click on the link or didn't log into the TED after clicking on the link for the first time, they'll have to go to http://ted.tomatis.com and should use their email address and the password you gave them as ID and password to access the online tests. You can also resend the automatic email by clicking on the Clients tab and then by clicking on Edit next to his or her name. At the top of your client's profile, you will see a green button saying Resend the online test. Click on this button to send the email once again. Online tests. As soon as you created the user account, The parents or legal representatives of your client will be able to complete a series of questions about him or her. These tests are divided into 4 main themes: sensory motor, emotions, language, attention. Within each theme, the client is asked about concrete situations to relate to everyday situations. The client must answer all the questions to be able to move on to the next test. Each time the parents complete one of the online questionnaire, the sensory motor questionnaire for instance, you will receive notification by email. You can review these tests. Log into the TED and click on the Clients tab. Click on Edit beside your client's name and finally click on the orange tab, Online Tests. Click on this tiny arrow and then on one of the green button, View. The other Start and Wait button mean that your client didn't complete the tests yet. During the first interview, in each client file, you can view the files by clicking on the Clients tab in the menu on the left. You will find a menu giving you access to the medical history questionnaires. These questionnaires differ depending on whether your client is an adult or a child. They serve as a guide to help you conduct the first consultation. They are divided into several sections. Once case history is established, you will find a series of questions in green to ask your client in order to corroborate the answers of the online tests. These questions concern the motor skills, the emotional skills, and the cognitive skills. In purple, you can note the goal of the listening program to be done by the client. In the Media Manager section, you can store any files relative to the client. Listening tests, audiogram, client photo, drawings, or other standardized tests that you consider useful to have him/her do. You simply need to click here and then to select the file to import. Below, in the Export Options section, you can download all the sections mentioned above and export them as PDFs. You will then be able to easily find all the questions and ask them during the consultation using the paper version, or once the tests are completed, transmit them to your clients or archive them. Selecting programs. In the online test section in orange, once the tests for the first consultation have been completed, you can note the listening program you have chosen along with the start and end dates. After the client has completed the first 2 listening periods, you can have your client's parents redo the online tests a few days before the second consultation. The procedure is the same as explained earlier to resend the automatic email. Click on the Clients tab and then on Edit beside your client's name. Afterward, click on the green button Resend the online test at the top of his or her profile. Statistics. The statistics module is based on the answers to the online tests and not on the answers of the case history questionnaire. The statistics module is thus only available for children. Please keep in mind that the online tests are divided into 4 sections: sensory motor, emotions, language, and attention, for a total of 320 questions. The sensory motor section contains 147 questions. The emotions section contains 63 questions. The language section contains 66 questions. And finally, the attention section contains 44 questions. You can access both general statistics for your entire database or individual statistics by clicking on Edit next to your client's name in their Clients section. The statistics module is divided into 6 parts. Hierarchized overview of critical items, CI. Hierarchized classification of all CI, first 30 CI. Overview of all items. Overall separate calculation of non-critical items, NCI. separate calculation of NCI. The critical items are the answers very often, often, and frequently. The occurrence of these answers should decrease as the listening sessions progress. Non-critical items are the answers never and not applicable. Hierarchized overview of critical items. This tab provides an overview of the online tests by classifying every section, sensory motor, emotions, language, and attention, based on how many critical items, very often, often, frequently, appear in each section. In this example, 3 tests were done. The number line displays the total number of critical items selected by the parents on the set of 320 questions, regardless of section. The percentage line displays the percentage of critical answers in relation to the total number of questions. The formula used here is number of critical items divided by the total number of questions and multiplied by 100. The number per test line displays the number of critical answers in each section. The percentage per test line displays the percentage of critical answers in each section and in relation to the total number of critical answers. The formula used here is number of critical items per test divided by the total number of critical answers and multiplied by 100. This data, while useful, does not suffice to observe a positive development between the various listening periods, since the number will potentially increase. For example, if the parent indicates 205 critical answers while doing the tests the first time, of which 131 are in the sensory motor section, this line will display 63.9%. Then let's say the parent indicates 101 critical answers the second time, 71 of which are in the sensory motor section. The line will display 70.3%, a percentage increase compared to the previous test, but in fact reflecting a decrease of problematical answer. The weighting percent per test line displays the percentage of critical answers per test based on their overall weighting in the online tests. It is this figure that will enable you to observe a decrease in problematical answers expressed as a percentage of the particular area being tested. The formula used here is number of critical items in one section divided by the total number of items in this section and multiplied by 100. In the previous example, the weighting percentage of the sensory motor section calculated before the first Tomatis session is 89.1%, 101 items out of 147, while it is 48.3% after one session, 71 out of 147. Hierarchized classification of all critical items in order. This table displays for each online test the frequency percentage of each answer, very often, often, frequently, sometimes, slightly, never, or not applicable, compared to the total number of questions. The formula used here is number of occurrences of one type of question divided by the total number of questions and multiplied by 100. A decrease should be observed if the percentage of critical answers very often, often, and frequently, and conversely, an increase of non-critical answers, sometimes, slightly, and never, as your client progresses through the sessions. First 30 critical items. In this tab, you will find the first 30 questions the child's parent answered with a critical item. The classification is first based on the most critical answers and then on the questionnaire type. The areas are always classified in the following order: sensory motor, emotions, language, and attention. For example, if there are 40 very often answers in the sensory motor section, The first 30 critical items tab will only display the first 30 questions of this section where the parent answered very often. If there are no very often answers but 10 often in the sensory motor section and 2 very often answers in the emotion section, the 2 answers of the latter section will be displayed first, followed by the 10 often from the sensory motor section. Overview of all items. In this tab, you will find the results of each test and test area displayed in bar charts. You should observe a decrease in the answers very often and often as the sessions gradually progress. Overall separate calculation of non-critical items. This tab will display the overall evolution without any distinction of the area of never and not applicable answers. You should observe an increase in these answers as the sessions gradually progress. Separate calculation of non-critical items. This tab will display changes in the percentage of never and not applicable answers per section. You should observe an increase in these answers as the sessions gradually progress. Changing language and your personal information. If you want to change the TED's language, click on this button at the top right-hand corner. Select another language. To change your personal information, such as your email address, your name, or password, click on My Profile at the top right-hand corner. Do not forget to hit the Update button when you're done.